Welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson entertainers better. My name's Chris Meyer, and this is Haley Westrich. Haley, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Good.
You've upgraded.
I
You now
have.
have
Fancy.
you have a cordless mic or whatever
I do.
you call
It's
them.
so official now.
So that'll be nice. Now you
Yeah.
can animate with your hands,
I
right?
know.
So what's going on?
So we've got an amazing guest today. He's a tenor extraordinaire over at the Americana Theater now.
And who would that be?
We've got George Dyer with us today.
So we're going to interview George here in just a moment. Last month, we introduced this new segment called Dumb Questions, or Things That Make You Go,
Yes.
And then we put a good question. And so I have to tell you, I showed that to my son, and he left the room because it was so dumb. So
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, we are on to something here, kind of our little opening monologue, things that just make people laugh. And
Exactly.
we're like, there's a bunch of bad news out there in the world, and so we just want to be lighthearted and fun and all those kind of things. So before we do interview, I want to just go over what our dumb questions are. Ready?
Okay.
Here's the first one. Why do fat chance and slim chance mean the same thing?
That's true. They do mean the same thing.
Think about it. Think about it. Here's the next one. If a turtle doesn't have a shell, does that mean it's homeless or naked?
Good point.
I don't know. I would say naked.
I don't know. I'm leaning more towards homeless.
Homeless? Oh, okay. You could still live in the woods, though.
That's true.
Okay, next one. If Superman is so smart, why does he wear his underpants over his trousers?
I don't know.
That's an
That's
interesting
good.
one. Okay, this next question, I actually have the answer for this, I think. But if the number 2 pencil is the most popular, why is it still number 2?
That's true.
So I did some research on this, and number 2 actually has to do with the hardness of the graphite. So the higher the number, the harder the graphite, but then the less it writes.
Right.
Like, it's lighter. So there you go. Education. Okay, here's the good question. I want to
Okay.
know what you think on this. Would you be willing to eat a bowl of live crickets for $40,000?
$40,000 with live crickets. I mean, I guess if we could dip them in chocolate and then just eat them really fast.
Yeah.
But,
Live crickets.
What about you?
$40,000 is tempting. I guess it might be how many I would have to eat, and then
That's a
if
good
I would
point.
if I would have any negative repercussions like long
Ugh,
term.
yeah.
So, folks, there's our dumb questions, things that make you go, and would you eat live crickets for $40,000? That's the question of the day. We're going to get back to our entertainer, George Dyer, in just a moment, so stay tuned.
The Holiday Inn Express Green Mountain Drive. It's the perfect resort hotel for your next Branson stay. Check into one of our many room types. Then relax in the refreshing indoor pool and hot tub. Enjoy the free hot breakfast every day. For more information or to make reservations, call 800-321-7275.
Welcome back to Play Branson. We are here today with George Dyer. George, it's good to have you. So
Chris, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
it's your first time for us to interview you, so this is exciting.
It is, yes.
So we asked the question earlier, would you eat crickets for $40,000? And you were in the audience and you said absolutely.
I wanted to just burst out with a great big yes. Oh, yeah, $40,000 to eat some crickets? That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's, it's protein.
So there you go. But you were talking about you played Fear Factor
I did,
with your
yes.
family, and so you ate all sorts of crazy
I ate all
stuff.
kinds of horrible things to win that game. It was a neighborhood game, and it wasn't pleasant, but I did it. So, I mean, and I didn't even win anything, except
Wow.
just the pride of being the winner of it. So if you're going to give me $40,000,
There you go. So you've been in Branson now for, what we say, 8 seasons.
8 seasons. I know.
And-
I can't believe it. It's
And
just
so
long.
what we like to do is we want to get to know kind of your history, even before Branson, like talk about your performing history and how you got into the music business, and and we'll go from there.
Well, I started singing professionally back in 1996. I was living in Utah at the time. I grew up in Virginia, but moved to Utah when I was 22. Started voice lessons. My first voice teacher heard something in my voice I didn't hear, and that was a classical sound. And she got me studying opera. And so I actually started a career in 1996 with the New York City Opera at the Lincoln Center. And that's what I did for the all the years leading up to coming to Branson, and decided I've got a wife and kids, and they were growing up, and I was away so often on the road doing my opera that I thought, I want to be with my family more. How can I do this? And a friend who was helped produce the Dutton show, she approached me, and the timing was perfect. She hooked me up with Sheila Dutton and said, you two need to meet because you have a great show that should be in Las Vegas or Branson.
Yeah.
And so that's how I ended up in Branson. I met with Sheila, and the Duttons offered me a 5-year contract, and that's where I was for the first 6 seasons here in Branson.
Right.
Yeah.
So, one of the things you mentioned there was family.
Yeah.
And we've heard that really from a lot of people, that Branson, if you want to be a performer, is a great place to raise a family and be a performer. Now, I know you haven't always lived here the whole time.
Right.
And so, but I guess it worked because you're still here.
I love Branson. It's a great community, both the entertainment and the non-entertainment community. And it's a wonderful place to raise a family. And for me, it was a double win because I got to do what I love to do, and that is perform and sing, and get my family involved. Actually, it's a triple win because not only was I able to go home every night and be with my family, but I got to bring them into the show and build a show with them in it. And they were all extremely talented, probably more talented than they definitely realized than I did. And they were able to develop their performance skills. And oh my goodness, what they've done since. It's just even blown me away just how good they are. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your family. How many kids do you have?
We have 4 children. My wife and I, we just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She deserves all the credit. And our oldest daughter's Kendra. She's 27, and she came with me. She was here from the beginning, if you remember her.
Right.
And she so talented, a great singer-songwriter. As a matter of fact, she's living in Utah now. This is the first year she hasn't been in the show. But she's actually coming back. Actually, she's here now. And she's finishing up an album of original songs that she wrote. Nice. And she's producing it here. She did all the recording here, so she's coming back to finish to produce it. And so it should be out soon. And Mitchell, he's living in Utah. He's my oldest son. He's married. Garrett is in the show. He's 23. And we like to refer to him as my retirement policy. He's phenomenal. The show's called From Broadway to Bublé, and he knocks Michael Bublé numbers out of the park.
Awesome.
And then our youngest is Cassidy, and she's on a church mission in Anaheim, California until the end of October. And then she'll be back in the show for Christmas.
Okay, so I got to ask about this original music of your daughter. Is she going to want to perform some of it in the show? And how do you decide that, if she does?
I would love to do that, actually, because I've heard most of the songs, and I keep telling her, I was going, these songs, and I'll point at a couple of them, I said, these are hits. I mean, they could be on the radio right now. So if she wants to, she'll be heading back once she's done producing, finishing the final mix and everything. But I'd love to bring her back and put her back in the show, of course. And have her do at least one original number, and I guarantee it'll be a huge hit.
I think that's becoming more of a trend in Branson, as we're seeing really families, even second-generation families, starting to do more original stuff, and I think that's exciting.
I do too, because it opens up Branson to a whole different generation, because they come to Branson and they think, oh, it's going to be my parents' kind of music, instead of saying, hey, there are younger generations in the shows that are performing music that you're absolutely going to love. So it's a win. Once again, a win-win for everybody, and for Branson too.
Okay, folks, this is a great place for us to take a quick break, watch this video, and we'll be right back with George Dyer.
If you love music, if you love theater, if you love passion, you'll love George Dyer.
It's a magical ride, so folks hold on tight. It's so easy, we'll make sure you walk out with a smile.
George Dyer is a phenomenal talent, a tenor voice on par with Pavarotti. He can sing in 8 languages fluently. George is joined on stage by his equally talented family.
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains a pennies from heaven?
Somewhere out there, out where dreams
not to mention a world-class live band you can't experience anywhere else in Branson.
This is a man's world. There won't be nothing without a woman or a girl.
The George Dyer Show is one to not miss.
Trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin. Let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the night.
The George Dyer Show, now at the Americana Theater in Branson, Missouri.
Hallelujah, hallelujah,
Welcome back to Play Branson. We're here with George Dyer. And George, it's good to have you back as well. And your show, you just have moved theaters. And so tell people a little bit about the move, number one, but then tell us about your show and what happens.
Well, I'm at the Americana Theater right on the Strip. It's in a great location. And the show is called George Dyer, From Broadway to Bublé.
Okay.
And that's a pretty good definition of what we do. There's not another show in Branson that really covers the wide variety of the musical genres that we perform. Everything from great Broadway hits like Music of the Night from Phantom of the Opera, songs from Les Mis, songs, we put a new one in from Hamilton called You'll Be Back, great, hot musical right now. And to full-blown opera, which I did before coming here, and then everything in between, great Michael Bublé hits, songs by Josh Groban, Andrea Bocelli, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Andy Williams, and it's fun. We're also just put in a new segment of Disney hits for the summer to appeal more to our families that are coming in with their kids. So we're doing hits from Moana, Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, and Trolls. Yeah,
so you've got a lot of stuff that really a lot of other shows in Branson don't have.
Correct. Yeah, like I say, it's got a really wide appeal, and they're all such great hits that even if you're maybe not a fan of a certain style, you'll still like it because they're all great songs, and we're proud of the fact that we do everything at a really high world-class level, and so and I'm proud to say that we are currently one of the top rated shows in Branson, in the top 10. It's a very fluid, but for the past month we've been at number 7 of all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
We're
awesome.
Proud of that. Yeah, thank you.
So
And congratulations on becoming the top male vocalist with the Branson Show Awards for the second time in a row.
I know. I'm
That's
honored
great.
with that. Yeah, and my wife and son they're not a whit behind me in their abilities. And we perform. It's not just a concert. We really bring the songs to life. We want the people to connect and experience everything that a song is supposed to mean to people, touching their emotions and just really entertaining them. I wear the mask and the cape during Phantom, and we have fun. There's lots of laughs and great audience interaction.
so tell people when and times again.
Well, for the rest of this month, we're going to be performing Tuesday mornings at 10, and then Wednesday and Saturday nights at 7:30. July and August, we will be going to. We'll keep that Wednesday and Saturday nights at 7:30, but doing Thursdays at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Right at the heat
So,
of the day.
so a variety of times, depending on if
Yes,
people want to come
exactly.
see you.
They can go to georgedyer.com for my schedule.
Okay, folks. So be sure to go see George's show. Great variety. You're going to find a lot of things there that you would not find at other shows in Branson. A couple other things that are coming up here very soon. Trace Atkins is going to be at the Welk Resort on June 30th. T.G. Shepard and Kelly Lang are going to be at Dick Clark's on July 5th. And Terry Fader, who's been in Branson before, he always makes a couple appearances here in Branson every year. He's going to be out at the Welk Resort on August 11th and 12th. August 11th, he'll be there at 8 p.m. and the 12th at 2 p.m. And so be sure to check those special engagements out. If you're planning your entire Branson vacation, want an easy place to get it all done, go to ibranson.com. They can help plan your entire vacation at ibranson.com, or you can call them at 1-877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-ENTERTAIN. And last but not least, if you've watched it all the way to the very end and you share and like this, the first 5 people that do that, I'm going to give you free Chick-fil-A. This has been another edition of Play Branson. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have a great day.